Hello again, I'm Tripp Rogers, and this is Tripp's Take. Well, it certainly was a memorable weekend in Augusta with the Masters. Rory McIlroy finally gets the elephant off his back and is able to complete the career Grand Slam. It took him a while to do so, and he gave it away. I mean, that was kind of exemplary of what was going to happen and what has happened through the years with Rory McIlroy. He's a guy you like, but he just, sometimes you scratch your head and you kind of wonder what happened. And while he is one of the most popular and most well-known PGA golfers, and he is one of their leaders, sometimes you just sit there and you scratch your head and you just go, what? And the funny thing was, going into Sunday, I got an email from Underdog Fantasy Sports that I had a $10 bet and I had to use it within a day, or I had a $10 bonus, I should say. So I said, all right, I'm going to go bet on the final round of the Masters. And the lines that they had for Bryson DeChambeau and for Rory McIlroy, I said, they're both not going to shoot under par today. No way. So I took the over and I won my bet. And Bryson, I thought he was going to start off really well, and it would have been great to see him win, but, oh, man, you can't win a Masters doing what he did, and it was interesting to watch this whole thing. And then for Rory, of course, to miss that putt on 18 and have to go to a playoff and have to readjust, he came back and he did what he had to do. And I think that was an exciting Masters. And I enjoyed watching, but I always watch the Masters. I always find myself on the day of the final round sitting there watching the Masters on CBS. And the reason is because, they summed it up best. It's a tradition unlike any other. But it always marks the start, for me, of the spring sports season. I've talked about it on this podcast numerous times. April's a great month. May is a wonderful month because now you're getting into those events that are traditional and mark time. And, the start of, March Madness, start of the baseball season, the Masters, and then, of course, we get into May and the Kentucky Derby. And then, of course, later in May, the Indianapolis 500. This is when the sports calendar really starts to roll. Also, you have the NBA playoffs, okay, and the NHL playoffs. The Rangers didn't qualify. So, I know. What can I say? Fair weather fan. It's just me, but anyhow. All right, some Wawa news. As you'll notice, I'm wearing my Georgia shirt, which I got for the groundbreaking and Pooler. This is a big, of course, Wawa Day was yesterday, the 16th, and it was Free Coffee Day. But they also opened the first Ohio Wawa store. Now, I used to go to school in Ohio. So Ohio has and Sandy has family there, so we go. Right now, they're down in the Cincinnati area, but they are going to spread. Tallahassee just got a Wawa, and the rumors that I have seen and the story, and again, this is not official, but supposedly a week from today, the Pooler Wawa will be opening, and you better believe this boy will be there for that one. That's going to be a really fun day. And, of course, having Wawa as close as it can be. I would love to have them in Savannah, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. But still, having a half-hour ride instead of 2 hours, I can live with it. I don't know how often I'll go. It's like anything. You when it's there, you don't appreciate it. So, but you will occasionally, I guess. And something that kind of points out, because I get this from a lot of people, and you either have Wawas, like 3 of them within a stone's throw of your house, or you have none. It's so funny. And again, I'll talk about it. When I was in Barnegat, we had the one big store that was about a 10-minute ride from my house because you had to go through these traffic lights, and the traffic pattern was really funny. You had another one that was about 5 minutes away from my house, and then you had a third one that was just up the road. And again, so everywhere you go, Wawa, and you drive down Route 9 in Ocean County, I mean, there were Wawas every town. And that's what it's all about. I mean, and people wonder why. What is it about Wawa? I get asked this all the time. What is it about Wawa? The hoagies are just unbelievable. And the coffee is great. And that to me are two important things. I never thought I'd be a big coffee. I was never a big coffee drinker. And I will say this, when I was young, I think I tried coffee once. I was like, ugh. And I didn't drink coffee. I was a tea drinker. And then when I was working overnights in radio, I'd be drinking tea by the tons. But I finally discovered coffee when I started working in New York City at Mix 105 in the early 90s, because they had flavored coffee. And I love flavored coffee. I wasn't a fan of just regular coffee, but I love flavored coffee. And over time, I developed a taste for coffee, period. Now I am partial to regular coffee, but I do like my flavored coffee. But I usually use flavored creamers. And I think one of the biggest changes, and one of the things that really helped me, I mean, I lost a lot of weight a couple years ago when we went on, Sandy and I went on a diet together. And one of the big changes I made was, instead of having sugared creamer, I went to, sugar-free creamer. And I found I enjoy it. And I've enjoyed that. And I don't miss the sugar. So it's really, I mean, sometimes I will have, sugar flavored creamer. I will admit that. But for the most part, it's sugar-free. And I happen to like it. I mean, Coffee Mate, I'm going to give you a plug right here. The Coffee Mate sweet Italian cream is awesome. Their cinnamon roll is great. And what also, I mean, when I originally started going with the flavored creamers, I mean, the International Delights Almond Joy was my favorite. I mean, I go to 7-Eleven. I know I'm blasphemous, wow. But I go to 7-Eleven because they always had blueberry coffee and they always had Almond Joy creamer. So I would have both of those and it would be great. Now, I'd pour a bunch of sugar in. And that's not good for you. I get that. And there are times I will add sugar to coffee, but if I can get a good flavored creamer, I'll use that and I won't put the sugar in. And I mean, again, people are so set in their ways, and they're so set in what they do. So it's kind of funny when you change up that routine. And how, after a while, you don't even think about it. And again, like I said, I didn't start drinking coffee till I was well into my 30s. And now I can't imagine starting a day without drinking a cup of coffee or two or three. And that's what it's all about for me. And there are people who are like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing absolutely wrong with that. And that is Tripp's Take for April the 17th, 2025. If you would like to make a comment or have a question about Tripp's Take, all you have to do is email trippstake@gmail.com. Fantasy football players, the NFL draft is coming up next week. And that means the Fantasy Sultans, the Hall of Famer Mike Sheck and yours truly, is back. We've got our NFL draft preview, and we'll also update the NFL news for the last couple of months. And that you'll find the same places you find Tripp's Take, on Spotify for Creators, Apple, and you can also find us on YouTube. Just search for the Fantasy Sultans. Like the music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you got to listen to WTRSradio.com and give a listen this weekend at WTRSradio.com. That thing does its annual WOW countdown. And I got to tell you, it is really great. It is really a fun program to listen to. Rich Appel does a great job. And you can hear that on WTRS at midnight Friday night and Sunday night at 6 o'clock. And also, there's a repeat performance Tuesday morning at 1 a.m. if you are an insomniac and want to hear the WOW countdown. Rich Appel does a great job with it. And that's one of the featured programs we have on WTRS Radio. By the way, you can find that on live365.com. Join me next week for another edition of Tripp's Take. For now, I am Tripp Rogers. Thanks for joining me, and make it a great one.